My name's Scott Allardyce from Spowers Architects, Design Director. Firstly, I just want to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land to which this project resides, the Wadawurrung people, the Kulin Nation, recognise their continuing connection to the land of the waterways. So Sovereign Hill, this is a project really important to Sovereign Hill as an organisation, and certainly the community around it as well. As you can see there, a 1978 building, quite brutal, by Owen Jones, and the project that we're talking about today, the Australian Centre for Gold Rush Collections and the Centre for Rare Arts and Forgotten Trades, was the project that we were looking to insert into this vessel, if you like. So what I'm going to do, I'll just step through initially a bit of the project ambition. And actually, right from the get-go, a lot of what was discussed, even preempting this project, was around the idea of Ballarat and the community being declared the UNESCO City of Craft and Folk Art. So it was very much about the embodiment of what craft and so on brought, not just to the Sovereign Hill environment there, but to the area as a whole. So that was really important. So to start with the project ambition, and I'll dwell on the idea of reconnect, people to reconnect. So using the device of the craft and forgotten trades as those traditional trade skills and the creativity coming around from that to reconnect the community, the people, the broader community as well. So this is Australian first centre as an idea, so to really support local artisans, broader artisans and Australia-wide to bring them to this centre. So then it was about untapping a bit of design thinking around how we then deploy that within in a meaningful way within the fit-out or the relifing of the space. And one approach, not surprisingly, unsurprisingly, was to take those traditional ideas and thinking how we redeploy those crafting and really considerate sense of what those trade skills brings to what we could then create as a solution and evolve that. And the other piece of it is really down the bottom there, the adaptive reuse and conservation, just trying to balance those two ideas was a really key piece. So we'll just step through the moves. This is the floor plan. The entry on the right there was what you saw in the photograph. So very much a pretty robust building which has had a lot of insertions and activity over its time as the original gold museum. So there's displays and so on and remnants of previous renovations. So first real objective was to identify those renovations and to pare back the building to create that new canvas, if you like. So what you're seeing there in terms of majority of the darkened walls and what was left, we were blessed, I think is probably a good term, with a lot of very robust finishes, but also things that are in very good condition once sort of pared back. Had a variety, you don't really see it from the front of the building, but the middle image there in terms of the vaulted steel frame, concrete column, the extension at one point in time, all the timber cladding, the off-form internal concrete walls that you're seeing there, and the waffle slab environment which ekes through the front end of the space before you get to the vaulted space. So it was an interesting building, but it had some really good bones, and this also was a device to look at what we've got and use what we've got. The budget was incredibly tight, so we had to really be considerate of how we deployed that budget, and that drove a lot of decisions and really to amp up some areas and redress others. So the new insertions, as you can see there in the red, so it was really the idea of, okay, what was the additive here that we needed to deploy the program, which fundamentally is a series of workshop spaces to support the different functionalities. So those new insertions, this is an example of one area of them, and this is an envelope within the greater space. This is enclosing some woodworking workshops. So as you can see there, really working through a very considered and thoughtful application, which is coming back to the rare trades of carpentry, jointing, etc. Obviously using recycled materials, sustainable materials. All the interior partitions are timber and built up as timber and insulated and so on. So very robust, but also required a lot of diligence. The trades involved in this process were exceptional, and Sovereign Hill as an organisation really gave the room to breathe in the program, and appreciated during the construction program that the energy and the time given to that would then deliver on some quality. So the main elements here, which was slightly nuancing the external of the building in terms of the big concrete buttresses, the scarf joints that are sitting in there, because of the recycled timber that Sovereign Hill had stockpiled, those joints were located very precisely in what we had. So it was didn't have the full length, so we had to scarf them and so forth. The idea of transparency into the workshops and so on was really important, and that's when what built up the overall arrangement and the deployment of the various programs. So then just working into the different spaces, as you can see there, all the timber, all the window areas, creating that transparency. The insertions that were created are all timber and beautifully crafted and organised. Views to the Mount Helen and so forth beyond. So really trying to take full advantage of the existing assets, if you'd call them that. Existing concrete floors are in great condition as well. So fairly simple moves and straightforward moves, but we were fortunate to have very good sort of bones to work with there. All the furniture was locally made and in some cases locally designed. And then it just, working into the different workshops, which are fantastic in terms of a bit of a glimpse into the past, but obviously that's a really important element in terms of the doing and some of those lost trades and bringing them to the fore and exposing them. The thread of the light was a way to intertwine a lot of the spaces, so that was an insertion there, but above that was the sort of waffle slab that doesn't quite come out in this photograph, but it's got a nice sort of glow to it, typically. As you can see, consistent approach to where we put the insertions of the timber walls. Gives you a sense of some of the social spaces, and that's my time, I'm assuming. I didn't hear the 2 minutes, I apologise. It's really just a series of objectives there, coming down to the social gathering area at the end, and that real hub of the community space, which was the glue. Thank you.